Now, moving on, right, you will learn what is a currency pair, what is a base and code currency, what are the different types of currency pairs. So let's get started. Number one, what is a currency pair? So one thing to note is that you trade currency in pairs, not as a standalone. So just like, when you go to a supermarket to buy an orange, you don't say, hey, I want to buy some orange. They will tell you, yeah, you want to buy some orange, right? But you have to, exchange, right, your money for an orange. So same thing for currency pairs, right? When you want to trade currencies, you have to exchange one currency for another currency. You can't just say, I want to buy some euros. Then the other person on the other party will be thinking, sure, you're going to buy some euros, so what are you giving me in exchange? So this is why currency pairs, or rather why currencies, right, trade in pairs, not as a standalone. So in essence, right, currency pairs help you measure a currency's value against another currency. So for example, let me explain, right, euro against the dollar. So when you, let's say, buy the euro dollar, in essence, what you're doing is you're buying the euro currency, right, and you're selling the US dollar. So in essence, right, when you are buying the euro, you're giving the other party US dollars in exchange for the euro currency. So just like you're buying an apple from the supermarket, you're giving your money in exchange for that apple. So it works in pair. Likewise, for dollar against the yen, you are buying the US dollar, and in return, right, you give the other party Japanese yen. Make sense? Moving on. What is a base currency, or what is a base currency? So let me explain. A base currency is, in essence, right, the first currency that appears in the currency pair. So this will illustrate. So for example, euro against the dollar, the first currency of the pair is called a base currency. And I'll explain why shortly. So what is a code currency? So the code currency is the second currency that appears in the currency pair. And for the euro dollar example, the US dollar is the code currency. And now you might be wondering, hey Vayner, what's the purpose of all this, man? So let me explain. The purpose of all this is to tell you how much it costs in code currency to buy one base currency. I know that sounds like a technical mouthful, so I'll break it down very simply, which I've actually done earlier. So for example, euro dollar at 1.3500. What it means is, you know that euro is the base currency, right? Let's call it B, base. And the dollar, as mentioned, is the code currency. That's pretty cute. So this tells you how much it costs in code currency to buy one base currency. So in essence, what this tells you is that for 1 euro dollar, it will cost you $1.35 USD. So let's say you go to a money changer. Hey, I want to buy 1 euro, man. And the guy said, sure, my man, give me $1.35 USD and I'll give you 1 euro. That's how it works, right? And that's how you kind of interpret this, right? Okay, it tells you how much it costs in code currency to buy one base currency. And I think that should be pretty self-explanatory. If you don't understand this, just rewind this video and I'm pretty sure you'll get it. So when you're trading currencies, right, there are different types of currency pairs, and I'll explain what are the 3 different types of currency pairs that you will encounter. Number 1 is what we call the major currency pairs. Number 2, we have cross-currency pairs. And number 3, exotic currency pairs. Ooh la la. So let me explain. Major currency pairs, these are in essence, right, or rather they refer to the most traded currency pairs in the world. So these are 7 most traded currency pairs in the world. They're all dollar denominated, like the euro against the dollar, the pound against the dollar against the Canadian, etc. So if you are new to Forex trading, right, these are, I would say, the 7 currency pairs that you might want to consider starting to trade first, because they are usually, I would say, that transaction costs are lower due to lower spreads, and you get less slippages when trading this 7 most popular currency pairs. So these are the major currency pairs. The next one, cross-currency pairs. This refers to currency pairs which are non-USD, which doesn't have the USD, denomination in it. So for example, let's say you have the euro crosses. Euro crosses simply means that currency pairs that has the euro currency in it, like the euro against the British pound, euro against the Aussie dollar, euro against the New Zealand dollar. Then you have the pound crosses like pound yen, pound against the Aussie dollar, pound against the New Zealand dollar, etc. Pretty simple stuff. And finally, the last type of currency pairs that we have is the exotic currency pairs. This is when one major currency pair is paired with a developing country's currency. So for example, US dollar against the Mexican peso. US dollar is a major currency pair. And Mexican peso, right, this is a developing country's currency. So again, this meets the requirement, right? One major currency is paired with a developing country's currency. Next one, the euro against the Turkish lira. Euro is a major currency. Turkish lira is a developing country's currency. And finally, the Indian rupee against the British pound. Again, so this is what we mean by exotic currency pairs. So one thing to note, right, is that when you trade exotic currency pairs, the spread tends to be wider. So if you don't understand what the spread means, right, don't worry, right, as you progress on in your trading journey, you'll understand. But in essence, right, the transaction costs to trade exotic currency pairs, they are more expensive compared to the major currency pairs. So a quick recap. Number one, currencies, they are traded in pairs, not as a standalone. The base currency is the first currency in the pair. The code currency is the second currency in the pair. And then there are three types of currency pairs: major, cross, and exotics. So with that said, let's move